Yeah. So I did rebuy it. You can rebuy it. It's a great game. My older kids freaking loved it. So
I'm pretty sure I've seen that game in Target.
yeah, you can buy it
couple
again.
Years.
Yeah, you can buy it again.
On
They
shelves.
reissued a lot of those games.
Yep. Yeah, that's the one. That's my go-to one from our childhood.
See you later, Chef. The game 13 Dead End Drive, where you can get rich by accident. The fun's alive with 13 Dead End Drive.
Welcome to the iKnowBadeaux
Hey, everybody, and welcome to the iKnowBadeaux Podcast. Man, at you from the Slice on Oak Studios. I am Mayor Dave Badeaux, the city of Brainerd, and with me, as always, is my brother.
It's Mario Final Fantasy.
It's unbelievable every time. Gabriel Johnson, how say ye?
Dave, look into the camera. Ladies and gentlemen, it's the Timu Tom Welling.
No. We've had ghetto Justin Timberlake for Scott.
Rickety crickets.
Rickety Crickets. Now all of a sudden we're getting Tom Wellington for me.
Tom Welling.
Welling.
Not Wellington.
That's probably why I did. Yeah. Tom Wellington. Just like Beef Wellington, only Tom. Wheelin' dealin'. Hey, look it over
Yeah, that's what it is. It's not Timu Tom Welling. It's Tom
Beef.
Wellington.
It's Beef Wellington.
Tom Wellington.
What a stupid bitch!
Hey, look, it's Jesse from Play and Trade. How goes it, Jesse?
Pretty good. How about you?
Excellent, Jesse. We had a little thing on the podcast called 30 Seconds to Explain Yourself. Go.
My name is Jesse Huber. I grew up in the Brainerd Lakes area and graduated with this fella right here, as a matter of fact.
That one as well.
I currently am the owner of Play and Trade in Brainerd and have been for about 5.5 years.
Yeah, you have quickly become the person on the podcast that gets the most name drops.
Yep.
So, speaking of which, we owe you back your controller before you leave.
Oh, the Duke.
The Duke.
The Xbox Duke. Talk about the Xbox Duke for just a second. Go.
It's, you know what? I always liked it. I mean, it fit my hands good, but yeah, a lot of my friends, they did not like that thing.
Yeah,
it's just such a big.
It's a beast with pointy buttons.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
Why do they come to a point?
Well, it's just weird. Anyways, let's not talk about that. We've got Jesse here. We've got time for a game. Ladies and gentlemen, everyone knows what time it is.
Game time. Who?
Jesse nailed it. Ladies and gentlemen, this is going to be a great podcast. Hey, if you guys don't know, Jesse owns Play and Trade video games.
Wow.
Which was one of my favorite stores prior to you owning it. However, it was very video game centric when the previous owner had it. You took over and immediately said, what am I doing over in this other city? We got to get over where the real city is, Brainerd, which I am the mayor of. But before doing so, you did something that I really appreciate, which you turned it from just being a vintage / retro video game store to what I refer to as the nostalgia store.
Yeah, I always, every time I'd go into another town, that's the kind of store that I would seek out and go find. And I always wanted to do it and finally just said, you know what? I don't think we're ever going to get one in this town unless I do it.
Yeah. So one of the things you included was toys, but also some old board games and whatnot. And so this week's game is That Ain't No Baby, Vintage Board Game Edition. So Jesse, I think you've probably got a huge leg up on this.
Possibly.
There's a really good chance that you're going to know
The
some
guy
of
that
these.
sells board games.
I might know a couple things.
And actually doesn't just sell them, but likes it so much that he bought a business to do it. So we're going to have to adjust the rules just a little bit to be safe. But the way that Ain't No Baby works is that things either are or are not a baby. For those of you who've been around before, if something is real, that's a baby. If it's not real, that ain't no baby. So what I've done is I've actually taken a bunch of real vintage board games and then went into ChatGPT and had AI make fake board games as well. To make it a little bit more fun, I allowed ChatGPT to play with the wording of the old board games a little bit as well, just to make it a little bit more cohesive. So we've got board games that span the entirety of the 1900s. But before we do, Jesse, I got to tell you one thing. The way that the podcast works, okay, is we're going to play this game. At the end, we're going to get to a winner. And the winner, I'm going to say, Jesse, say something to your fans. You must say hello and congratulations. If you say anything other than hello and congratulations, you lose and I win.
Okay.
You understand that?
I do.
Jesse, say something to your fans.
Hello and congratulations.
Don't forget that. You probably will. Are we ready to get started?
I don't know if anybody's ever remembered it.
I don't think anybody actually. Yes. But that's the point. So in order to make this a little bit more fair, Jesse, if for some reason you absolutely know one of these games, keep it to yourself. Hopefully have a nice poker face. And then afterwards, just admit that you knew. And then we'll give you a 1 point or half a point for knowing it. And we'll give you another half a point if you can guess the decade from which it came about. Are we ready, ladies and gentlemen?
Ready as I'll ever be.
I don't think we need any more explanation, correct? Okay, let's do this. That Ain't No Baby Vintage Board Game Edition. The first one is Domestic Bliss, the Housewife's Delight. I'm going to read to you a little synopsis of the game as well. Balance cooking, cleaning, and unruly children, all while keeping your husband's spirits high in this fun-filled game about the American dream. Earn points for every perfectly cooked meal and spotless room, but lose points if the baby cries or dinner burns. The first player to achieve the perfect household wins, but watch out for that surprise visit from the mother-in-law and impromptu dinner parties. Jesse, the question is, Domestic Bliss, the household's delight, baby or no baby?
You know, honestly, I don't think that's a baby.
Jesse says that ain't no baby, and hopefully he says it louder next time. We are an audio medium.
That sounds so incredibly made up. Mm-hmm. Oh, God damn it. But I don't think ChatGPT would come up with that.
Oh.
I did specifically use ChatGPT.
I'm going to say that ain't no baby.
That ain't no baby.
Yeah, I was totally going to say that ain't no baby. But the idea that ChatGPT would write that.
I don't believe you.
That ain't no baby.
Misogynist. Drivel.
That's 3 That Ain't No Babies.
Yep.
We're starting off strong, ladies and gentlemen. That Ain't No Baby.
Okay.
From 1963, evidently. The Domestic Bliss, the Housewife's Delight, for some reason is not a baby. If you
So
look,
it's not from 1963.
It's not.
Yeah, what do you mean?
It's not.
From
Even made up the
1963,
year.
this thing that doesn't exist.
I made sure they all had years because we ran into this problem before.
Okay.
We ran into this problem before. They all have years. They all have the exact type of definition. They all have names. It would be hard if they didn't have names. I was also surprised that ChatGPT went with because it wrote, if you burn dinner.
Yeah. You burn dinner and make sure you keep your husband happy.
Yeah, and I tried to get it to be more risque, and it didn't. It never once pushed back on me. Sometimes it just wouldn't do it, but it never once pushed back on the, hey, throw some double entendres in there. Never once did. Jesse, so you don't own that one?
No.
Okay. No. 1 point around the next one. Scott, you're going to go first on this.
Okay.
Rap Rat, the video board game. Just press play and you're on your way. Rapping with the little rodent with a lot to say. Rap Rat is the host of this innovative, interactive video board game for 2 to 6 kids who just want to have fun. Sensational, recreational, inspirational, educational. That's fact. Scott.
Racked
You got it.
or rat?
Rat, as in
rat.
the Rap Rat.
So it's Parappa the Rapper
Only a rat.
and a board game.
Video board game.
A video.
Video board game.
They did make a lot of those.
Yep.
What the hell's a video board game?
You've never played one
and
with the
then
VHS tape and it's like interacts with the...
Never.
Great. I could go on
Never.
forever about
You rap to the rat, then you press stop. The rap does, I don't know, the rat does something.
That ain't no baby. I would have seen that before.
He says that ain't no baby.
You've never seen any video board game, but you would have known about this one.
Specifically.
I'm
Yes.
saying it's a baby.
He says it's a baby. Over to Jesse.
You know, it sounds like something that would have got made in like the 90s. So I haven't personally heard of that one, and I've heard of a lot of those video games. So I'm going to go, that's a baby.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's a baby.
Damn it.
Make up your color-coded puzzle first, then press stop to beat Rap Rat. But if the cheese gets eaten, you all get beaten. Can you outsmart the rat and finish your puzzle, or will you be left nibbling on defeat in Rap Rat, the video board game?
I can honestly see the commercial as you read that.
That just sounds like how I run my household. If the cheese gets eaten, you all get beaten.
Jesus. Heavy on the domestic violence to start the episode.
Busted! Y'all ready?
He's in a shopping center now, showing you how. Having fun is the aim. Hey, Rap Rat's the name, the video board game.
Rap!
For kids who just want to have fun, so turn on your set, slide in the cassette and play.
Rap!
It's VHS, it's A-OK, it's kids' entertainment that's here to stay, the video board game.
Rap!
So get mellow, get yellow, get the video board game, Rap Rat. He ain't no ghost, he's the most. The video board game, Rap Rat.
Yeah. Okay. Point to Jesse, point to Gabe, full points around. Man, it is hot in here today.
Pretty warm.
I am already glistening over here. All right, let's just keep moving because I got a lot of these. All right, here we go. Ready? Where's the beef?
Where's the beef?
Ooh.
Get ready for a tasty challenge with Where's the Beef? This roll and move memory card game set in a big bun restaurant, just like your favorite Wendy's. Randomly place food tiles face down on the board and take turns moving through the restaurant. When you come across a face down tile, secretly look at it. The goal is to be the first player to find 4 hidden beef tokens. Think you know where they are? Announce your guess and try to flip over all 4 beef patties. If you're wrong, you lose. But if you're right, you win.
So it's Clue, but where's the beef?
You have to find out where on the floor in the Wendy's the burgers are hidden.
Yeah, flip them over first. Oh, it is a patty. Is it a patty? Not a patty. Baby, that ain't no baby. Over to Gabe.
That ain't no patty.
That ain't no patty. Over to Jesse.
I want to say not a baby.
He says not a baby. Over to Scott.
I better agree.
All
Not a baby.
say not a baby. Ladies and gentlemen, that's a baby.
Oh my goodness.
Where's the beef with a really great drawing of the Where's the Beef lady?
I was going to say, was that actually based on? So that would have been like in the what?
80s.
70s?
Late 80s.
1984. So
Oh,
right
that
on the
campaign
dot.
was that?
1984, yeah. Right on the dot when the campaign was happening.
I'll be danged.
Yeah, yeah. Then we said they ran that campaign for quite a while.
Yeah, we did a Wendy's episode recently. She was what, late 70, maybe
Yeah, I
79.
know it started in the late
And they
70s.
ran it for like a decade.
I
Yep.
didn't realize they went that
Yep.
long with that.
Yep. Well, no points to anyone on that one, so we'll keep going. This is Build a Better Burger. Get ready for some fast food frenzy with Build a Better Burger. Players choose a fast food order for the opponents and wind up the timer. Each player tries to fill their order within 1 minute while the cards spin by on the tower. Can you keep up with the orders and build the best burger, or will you fumble your buns under pressure? Build a Better Burger.
I can't believe you can say that.
You were trying to stop me.
I was
And
trying
I
to
knew-
congratulate you.
He was in the zone.
That was fine. I knew. I saw you. I knew you were trying to get my attention. If I stop now, this whole game's over. Build a Better Burger. Jesse, you're first on this one. Build a Better Burger. Baby ain't no baby.
I'm going to say not a baby.
Says ain't no baby. Over to Scott.
No baby.
Says no baby. Over to Gabe.
That ain't no baby.
They're just unified front today. Ladies and gentlemen, that is also a baby.
Jesus.
Also from 1984, we had competing burger games.
I didn't know you were going to double down on burger games and have them both be real
Right.
in a row.
That's what
I
I
was
thought.
just, I'm like, I haven't heard of this, but I'm going to try to just kind of get in your head there.
Well, it didn't work. So right
It's not
now,
a unified front. We beat Scott on one.
you beat Scott on one. It is 2 to Jesse, 2 to Gabe, 1 to Scott. This is good. I'm glad I had so many because we're going through this pretty quick. Yeah, that one there. There's a tower that I think it's like a line cook where you've got
with the order
the
flip
orders
and
and,
it
it's
actually-
spinning around and you have to
yeah.
try and build the burger as it's spinning
It
around.
sounded like a cool game, yeah.
Yeah.
It sounds like Cooking Mama Or what's that?
Cooking Mama's like on the Nintendo.
The
That's
video
an
game.
actual,
Video
like,
game.
DS
Yeah,
game and stuff.
Yeah, the one where it's
Yeah, they order up or whatever, so stuff like that, where
yeah.
things come and you got to do the thing.
Yeah.
It actually, this one seemed pretty cool. And there's some other ones in here as well that I have a 6-year-old and a 4-year-old. So they're just kind of getting to the end of that era when you can play all those really, really basic board games, the Don't Wake Daddies of the world.
Mm-hmm.
And there's 1,000 of them. But there's all these things that you don't go too far, because if you go too far, the thing's going to jump out at you. We have Rattlesnake Jake, which is Xander's favorite. You steal his little gold chunks from him, but look out, because he'll snap it. And every time Xander jumps and then giggles for a half hour. So he's 4 years old, but those games are perfect for that.
Those are fun.
Yeah. They're just getting past that, which I would argue we're getting to the point where we almost have to start looking at the mousetraps of the world, and I'm not looking forward to that.
Just don't let them know that game exists.
Yeah, but even the ones with
Mousetrap. I love Mousetrap.
mousetrap can get bent, because it literally gets bent.
It does. It
Yeah.
didn't take long before something broke and you couldn't play
And
with
then
it
it's
anymore.
just done.
Yep.
Yeah, I think we've listed it as the lamest board game of all time. I can't even remember how you play.
I just remember setting it up and then
Right.
That's how you know it's not a good game. No one remembers the game of Mousetrap.
Setting it up.
We have, when we've talked about it, we have 13 Dead End Drive. I love that game. That game also takes 45 minutes to set up. But I remember how to play 13 Dead End Drive. I remember playing the actual game, 13 Dead End Drive. Mousetrap, nobody even knows what. I don't even think it is a game.
everybody ended up with a copy of it. But
Yeah.
Right.
Everybody played it at a friend's house and then wanted a copy of their own, but never wanted to play it at home after the first time they played it because they don't want to set it up again.
yeah.
I will say that's the best thing about those games for the little kids. Don't Wake Daddy is you take it out of the box, you push the dad back on, you put his little hat on, you go, yeah, let's go, boys. Spin the spinner, move your thing. Shoot, you got to push it 4 times. And that's it. The game's over.
Oh my gosh.
That's all there is. All right, here we go. The score is 2 to Jesse, 2 to Gabe, 1 to Scott. Donut disaster. Be the first player to get rid of all your donuts by placing them on the soft rod in the middle of the donut making machine. But be careful, because if it explodes, it'll send everybody's favorite glaze flying. If it does so on your turn, catch as many donuts as you can so you don't get stuck with them. Can you handle the rod and avoid the sticky situation? Or will your donuts end up everywhere in donut disaster?
Whose turn is it?
I think it's yours.
Is it me? Yeah, no. I mean, no, that ain't no baby.
Gabe?
You did rewrite the descriptions. That ain't no baby, though.
All right, over to Jesse.
That can't be a baby. If it is,
No points around. That's a baby.
What the fuck? How?
I may have changed a few
I know which
keywords.
ones, I bet.
An explosion of glaze?
The soft rod and explosion, that I did not touch, I don't believe. I didn't touch that soft rod and explode it. It right in the description, it was the soft rod and then a donut explosion. I may have made it a little bit more colorful.
Maybe.
Maybe just a little bit.
Well, did he come or what?
Donut disaster.
Stack all your donuts on the machine. First one to get rid of them all. You win! It's donut disaster. Catch all that you can.
Then stack them back on.
And start over again. Will it blow?
I don't know!
We can't go any faster. Donut disaster.
All right. That one's from 1992, by the way. Wow. Yeah.
I guess
All
I
right.
was playing way better board games.
All right. This one is.
Oh, that one sounds thrilling.
This one, ladies and gentlemen,
Secret
is.
of the ooze.
You should have made a turtle theme. Oh, man. Come on, Michelangelo.
A fellow chucker, eh?
Radium Riches, the glowing game. Welcome to the world of tomorrow with Radium Riches, the glowing game. Invest in the latest radium-infused products and build your luminous empire. From dazzling watches to miraculous health tonics, the opportunities are endless. Be strategic in your investment to outshine your competitors and avoid the pitfalls of this glowing industry. Who will amass the greatest fortune and become the ultimate radiant regent? Radium Riches, the glowing game.
So they did like nuclear material back in the 50s.
There were a lot of really dangerous toys in the 50s. Do you remember that like atomic gun thing they had?
Yeah, there was the gun that shot like a potato gun that shot a ping pong ball, but there was the atomic play set. What was it? It was uranium. God, what the hell was it called?
Yeah, it came with
it
actual
did literally
uranium.
come with like radioactive
And
material.
it turns out kids put stuff in their mouth.
Yeah, bad idea. We actually have a whole episode on bad toys, and that definitely made the list. We drafted the worst toys. Somehow it wasn't as bad as the Gooinator, or whatever it was called, Spunkinator. That's a fun one. But yeah,
So far, everything has been a baby.
no,
So I'm sticking with my guns. That ain't no baby.
that ain't no baby. Okay. Domestic abuse was, or no, I'm sorry, it wasn't.
That's the one we all got. So we've guessed that ain't no baby every single time.
Yes.
Domestic bliss, was it?
Domestic bliss. Yep. Jesse, over to you. Radium Riches.
You know what? I'm just going to say it is a baby.
Okay. Over to Scott.
Because we covered that other atomic playset thing and this didn't come up, I feel like it's not a baby.
That ain't no baby.
Taking the lead.
All right. Gabe
Tied up.
goes over to 3, Jesse with 2, Scott with 2. This said it was from 1921.
1921.
Yep.
That's a little early.
I think I said like 1916 or 1917 was when when radium was becoming a thing. And so right then was when they first started doing it. By 1925 or 26, there was an actual lawsuit from watch painters. So they would lick the brush and then paint these little things and then were literally losing their faces. So there was a big lawsuit by 1924, but it kept going until the 70s. So I think it was like 1976 that they stopped putting in glazes in like vases and
But
stuff.
that ain't no baby, right?
That ain't no baby.
So
Yeah. Well, I'm just saying. We're talking about what he said 1921. I said, yeah, that's about the right
were
time frame.
watchmakers' faces being melted off?
In 1926, there was a lawsuit
Okay.
from watchmakers.
That is a baby.
That's real. And so this was 1921. There was a fun game before that, but there wasn't. That ain't no baby. All right, here we go. We're at number 7. We're going to keep moving along, ladies and gentlemen. This is Feeley Meeley. Get ready for a game that gives you a funny feeling with Feeley Meeley. Start by placing all the items inside the box and stacking the cards on top. The top card is revealed, and players put their hands inside the box to feel around for the item pictured on the card. The player who finds the most items by feel alone is the winner. Can you master the art of touch and find your way to satisfaction in Feeley Meeley? Jesse, I believe you're first this time.
I'm going to go with it is a baby.
He says that's a baby. Over to Scott.
So there's a box with stuff in it.
Oh, what's in the box?
And everybody has to put their hands in at the same time?
I think at the same time. It sounded like the same time.
No.
But the cards are on top of the box.
Put cards on top of the box. You flip it over. Everyone puts their hand in the box. That's what it says here.
It sounds like a fun game.
Feel around for the item
The
pictured.
name is terrible, though. Feeley Meeley?
Feeley Meeley. I mean, it would make more sense if it was like, like food items. It doesn't say that. I don't know what the items are, but Feeley Meeley. Baby, no baby.
Well, the way you're talking about it is obviously a baby.
Yeah, baby. I'm going to go. Baby.
That's a baby.
That's a baby.
It says, why? Feeley Meeley. Feeley Meeley.
We both said baby.
God damn it. That's a baby. Shut the fuck up sometimes. Everybody gets a point.
I'm not quite sure what the items are. I didn't look into that.
But I know they're real.
I don't know if they're real. ChatGPT was giving us lots of ideas. All right, that's a baby. Gabe, you're still in the lead. Jesse, I don't know. You don't have an advantage at this game so far.
You're doing a very good job of picking the most obscure board games I've ever heard of.
The whole fucking point. I got another one for you. Breaker 19, the CB trucker game. Get ready to hit the open road with Breaker 19, the CB trucker game. Players move around the board and delivering loads and earning money to pay off their rigs. The rules are printed on the inside of the box top, making it easy to get started. Use 2 types of cards, player markers, and play money to navigate the trucking world. Can you out-earn fellow truckers, or will you let the rig go down without a big load? In Breaker 19, the CB trucker game.
That ain't no baby.
It sounds like a fun game, kind of a tycoon type game, right?
Mm-hmm.
But why the fuck would the description tell us that the instructions are printed on the box? That's like something a robot would find interesting.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say that ain't no baby.
Jesse.
That is a baby.
And do you know that's a baby?
I'm almost 100% positive.
That is a baby.
No.
It was a Milton Bradley game.
I'm with Gabe on that.
And they did print a lot of the instructions.
I believed
on
it until you said the instructions are printed on the underside of the bottom. I'm like, well, that sounds like ChatGPT would have written that.
That's why I left it. Finally, redeemed myself for the last bullshit. Jesse, what decade was that from?
That was, oh my gosh, it was either late 70s or early 80s. Oh. I want to say 70s.
70s is correct. You're getting the full point, Jesse. You are now tied with Gabe. Scott, you are now behind. Jesse, half point for knowing that it actually exists. Half point for knowing the decade. 1976, Breaker 19, the CB trucker game. So a lot of these were from a website that it's like a Wikipedia for board games. So it has the title.
Wikipedia also has board games.
Well, this was a different site, and it wasn't Board Game Wiki, which is normally what they call themselves. But typically, they would have a description, and some of them were like really stupid. Like, some of them I had to say like, "Hey, rewrite this so it actually sounds like the rest of them." And this one I was like, "Oh, fuck that." the instructions are on the top of the box.
I think I gotta figure that out when I bought it.
And what does that have anything to do with the game itself?
Shut up and take my money.
How else will we know how to play the game?
Before hearing anything about the game, instructions are on the top. I'll have it.
Are you tired of losing the instructions? It's a huge problem in 1976. Losing instructions.
Surprised you didn't know that.
All right, so it is Gabe and Jesse with 4, Scott with 3. We have 3 left. So we're going to keep going here, and then we'll make the switch here. If Scott gets this right, I don't know. I think we actually have to. I think we have to go. Scott, I'm sorry, you're gone.
Just nothing.
Disappointed in you. Oh no, yeah, you're right. We got to go. Yeah, okay.
There's no tiebreaker.
Yeah, I forgot.
There has to be an elimination round.
I almost fucked this up. Yes. Jesse, you're the guest, and you just got the last point. Gabe versus Scott to see who faces Jesse in the last round.
Aren't there 3 questions left?
There are 3 questions left.
So we get 1, and then the final round, leaving 1 question on the board.
To be safe, because we all know I will fuck something up, right?
Fair.
And if we don't do
Absolutely fair.
Don't question my neuroses. All right, here we go. Gabe, you have the advantage. You will go first. Scott, sadly, you are stuck with whatever he doesn't say.
It usually bodes out well for me.
It usually does. Here we go. Pet Rock Tycoon. Dive into the zany trend of the decade with Pet Rock Tycoon. Transform an ordinary stone into a must-have pet of the year. Design groovy accessories, create outlandish marketing campaigns, and win over the masses. Compete with fellow rock entrepreneurs to see who can build the most successful pet rock. Can you ride this far-out craze to the top? Remember, it's not just a rock, it's a lifestyle. Gabe Johnson, to go on to the championship. Baby, no baby.
I don't get it.
You're trying to be a pet rock tycoon.
That ain't no baby.
Says that ain't no baby, Scott.
That ain't no baby. They don't say anything about how you get points or anything.
You're trying to be
It's
the
all
most
subjective.
successful rock band.
It's an entirely subjective game.
campaign.
It's an impossible game. It's entirely subjective.
I will say that I was
You
looking.
build marketing campaigns and paint the rock.
Create outlandish marketing campaigns. How? What do you mean? To who?
Right. Who gives you points?
Okay, you're right. However, I thought it was hilarious. Pet Rock Tycoon. Thought it was hilarious. But you are absolutely correct. I scratched my head on that. I was like, I don't really understand. Well, what are we
There's
doing?
a lot of words to tell you how nothing works.
Yeah. Hey, you remember Pet
Where are
Rocks?
the
Well,
instructions?
it was a thing. I mean,
Yeah. Do you remember Pet Rocks?
I remember
What if
Pet
we
Rock.
all made Pet Rocks?
the guy made $1 million.
Gabe, you get the point. It's only fair. Gabe versus Jesse for the final round. Now, this one, just to be safe, you may actually know this. So that's why we have an extra question. See, I got it right. If you do know this, just admit that you know it. Okay.
What if he knows both of them?
And then he knows everything. And what am I going to do? I'm just going to have all of them?
Well, that'd be a fitting win.
It would be a fitting win. However, the game is That Ain't No Baby. I'm going to tell you what. Baby, no baby. The question is, I want to bite your finger. The vampire game. Morning, evening, noon, and night. Anytime the clock may strike. If you're caught, you'll have to linger, because the count may bite your finger. This thrilling game features a large vampire figure that bites players' fingers. Move around the board and turn the clock attached to the vampire. Be careful. If the vampire wakes up, his cape swings open, and you must put your finger in his mouth. He may actually bite you. Jesse, for the championship.
I have not heard of this one, but it does sound like something that could be legit. So I'm going to say it's a baby.
Says it's a baby.
Of course it's a baby. The next one's a baby too, because you said Jesse might know both of these next.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's a baby. Halfway through saying that, Gabe, I fucking realized what I was doing. Halfway through, I was like, oh, that could totally not be a baby, or it could be a baby. I don't know. You might know him. You might not know him, too. I don't know.
No, I'm negative.
That is absolutely a baby. I want to bite your finger from 1979. Had a fun commercial as well.
I want to bite your finger. It's a Dracula game. Set the clock. Just try your luck.
If Dracula's cape opens, you have to put your finger in his mouth and press the lever. If he leaves a mark on your finger, you have to start over again.
He didn't bite me!
If you can sneak all the way around Dracula's house, you'll win the game.
You're not supposed to bite people.
It's a Dracula game.
I want to bite your finger from Hasbro.
So yeah, I really enjoyed two things. It is basically Don't Wake Daddy. There's a clock on the actual vampire, and you move your piece, and then depending on how many spaces you decide to move, you have to move the clock that many times. So a bit of allowing you to do as you please in this game. But then he'll open up his cape, and you got to put your finger in his mouth and push down the thing. And in the commercial, I was like, Jesus Christ, is this thing got a stapler on the backside of it? Yeah, turns out it's just a marker. They've got a little marker with two little points on it.
Little bite marks.
Little bite marks. And so not only does the mechanism either open or not open his cape, but when it opens, there's a secondary switch in there that decides whether or not he bites or doesn't bite. So actually,
so he might not bite.
He might not bite.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So
that makes it makes more sense.
It seems
I thought it was just like put your finger in there.
He's gonna bite.
You're getting bit. Just make that part of the game too.
It seems like a game that you would just go like, yeah, I want to always go all the spaces, because even if he opens, he might not bite. It seems like a really silly, it seemed like a game that may need to be reshuffled a little bit. But in terms of like a Don't Wait Daddy type game, my kids would love this.
Yeah.
So, Jesse, you are the winner. Now is the time. Go ahead and say something to your fans.
Oh, crap. Congratulations.
Oh, crap.
Oh, crap. crap. Congratulations is not correct.
Something congratulations wasn't.
Ladies and gentlemen, the correct term is hello and congratulations. Oh my God, I am the winner.
That was close.
I'm like the whole time I'm going through that in my head. Don't forget it. Don't forget it. Don't forget it.
Don't forget
Oh,
it.
crap.
Oh man. Yeah, so I might as well not even tell you what the last one is, just in case we ever want to do this again. Because as Gabe said, it is a baby. It is definitely a baby. Yeah, so the three that we had that ChatGPT came up with, they came up with a whole list of them, and these are the ones that I liked the best. The domestic bliss. I really liked that one. I wish it would have been further in the list. The radium riches I thought was pretty clever as well, because it's like, yeah, that seems like something that could happen. But Scott was absolutely right. It did fit right into things we've already talked about, and we had never talked about it. And then, yeah, of course, the pet Rock Tycoon, which it's not a game. ChatGPT. There's no game. What's the game?
What do you do?
Come up with crazy marketing campaigns. Show them to mom. I don't know. See which one she likes best. And you know what she's going to do? I don't fuck. You both win. Great job.
I love them all. I love them equally.
Fantastic job. Jesse, what was your favorite game on this list?
Oh my gosh. The donut one comes to mind.
Yeah, I really got to look into that one.
You don't want to get into a sticky situation. Yeah, from 1992 even. Yeah, so it's probably...
Yeah, that would have been my...
Yeah.
Never...
It's probably still got pretty quality plastic and everything, you know?
I'm going to guess the ooze is a little crusty.
I don't think it actually had ooze. I think ChatGPT and myself leaned a little bit into the ooze part of it. I don't think it actually had ooze.
There was no glaze.
I don't think there was glaze. I think it was just donuts.
There were a lot of games that had...
Oh, yeah.
Icky
Is that
slime or,
Nickelodeon?
the gack and, you know...
Yeah, there was another one that was like Slime, the monster game, and that was basically what it was. It was like a board game with like a monster that would slowly drip slime. That would be pretty cool, but then that's a game that doesn't last very long.
It doesn't last. My son got a science board game that came with some green goo that was like a booger you stretch from your nose and try to get to the center of the board.
Yeah.
But it only lasted for like a year maybe at most.
Yeah, all that stuff. And I mean, you can remake it. You know, now the beauty of the internet is you can, in our cupboard above the fridge, we've got a giant thing of clear glue, a giant thing of regular glue, borax, all the stuff to make all the putties and slimes. Mm-hmm. So I'm sure you could figure out what the recipe
my son
for it is.
Makes goo all the time, so we could replace it with that.
Yeah, but at that point, the game, it's over.
I just grabbed a little board game piece and moved that and said, the booger isn't essential to the game. It's just fun for the kids.
So does it kind of like stick as you move it?
Yeah.
Jesus. My God. It happens, he says. Jesse, let's talk about some games that you have in your collection or things that you enjoy that are out there that you would maybe like to get your hands on in terms of like board games.
I've actually slowly went back and collected a lot of those that I'm like, I remember playing this game with all my buddies and it was just a blast. Like one I got was the Omega Virus.
Okay.
I don't know if you ever
heard of that. I don't think I have heard of that
It's an electronic interactive game.
Okay.
Where this alien computer virus takes over the space station and you have to chase it through the space station, and it talks to you as it's like, oh, human scum. And yeah, you get blocked out of different corridors, and it's like a big time. It's
1987.
That was early 90s, I believe.
Oh, really? Okay.
The Omega virus has taken control of the space station's computer. Help me. And you have to hunt it down and destroy it.
30 minutes till I take over.
It's Omega Virus, the electronic talking virus hunting game where the computer and the virus,
you fool,
really speak.
Negatron found.
Collect your weapons.
Red sector shut down.
And find the virus. The virus can win.
1 minute.
I think I found it!
You win.
Yeah!
Omega Virus. Catch it before it's too late.
I was going to say, it seems like you can't go quite 95.
Yeah, no, this was maybe 92, 93.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, that's why I say those were the games I was playing, not like Donut. Whatever the other one from
Jack
92
the Donut
was that I'm like, what?
Donut disaster!
I have said in the past, 13 Dead End Drive is my favorite board game from when we were kids. Did you ever play that one?
I did not play that one.
It's a combination of Clue and what's the other game that I always try to refer to? Well, it's a Clue and Mousetrap, essentially.
Okay.
You move the pieces around. There's a picture on the mantle, And the goal is to get out the front door if that picture is in your hand. So you've got how many cards in your hand? Everyone has how many cards. If the picture's on the mantle and you get your guy out the front door, you win. So, but there's all these traps around the house in the different rooms, just like Clue. And if you put somebody on like a bookcase, you either have or don't have the card to set that trap. So the fun of the game is pretending that that's not your character. So like, oh, I'm trying to kill this character, so I put him on the bookcase. Oh, shoot, I don't have that card. I can't drop the hammer on him. And so you're just kind of moving these pieces around and then slowly trying to get out the door.
Fun. Do you have that game?
I do have that game. I had my original copy, and then our basement got a little bit of water in it, and my fiance decided that was one of the things that didn't need to get picked off the floor. So like 3 weeks later, I was like, what are we doing? And I opened it up, and it was a planetarium of freaking its own ecosystem. Oh. Yeah. So I did rebuy it. You can rebuy it. It's a great game. And my kids, my older kids, I haven't been able to play with the younger ones, but my older kids freaking loved it. So
I'm pretty sure I've seen that game in Target.
Yeah, you can buy it
couple
again.
Years.
Yeah, you can buy it again.
On
They
shelves.
reissued a lot of those games.
Yep. Yeah, that's the one. That's my go-to one from our childhood. We still had all of the same games that everybody did growing up in the 70s and stuff too. Just iterations of it.
Just Payday, Clue, Monopoly.
Yeah.
all that stuff.
Candyland. They redid all of them games several times.
Yeah, Candyland is stupid. I've played that with kids. It's a terrible fucking game.
Candyland is good for up to like 4 years old.
Yeah, Candyland's a decent game for up to 4 because when you're 2 or 3 years old, you can't really hold your Go Fish cards. You can't really. So that's something that's really easy. You flip a card and you move.
And you
hope you get the ice cream cone.
Yeah, and it's just like there's no rhyme or reason to it. You either win or you don't. And then you grow up to a game like Sorry.
Yeah.
Where it's like it's still mostly just you get what you get, but there are a couple of times where you can strategically move your pieces.
Yep.
That's what I'm trying to graduate past. Sorry now. We did Candyland forever, and now it's been Sorry forever.
Now you got to do the one with the bop.
Yeah, what is
the bubble in the middle?
Sorry has one of those. Trouble.
It's Trouble.
Trouble is basically Sorry only with a bubbled thing. Okay. Yeah, that's the one to get to next because then you get to do the jumping and the removing and the kicking you back.
Sorry, remove. Yeah, you land on their space and you're like, sorry.
Yeah.
You kick it back. You can do swap places. You can make one of your guy go and that. So that's one of the games that I play with my daughter, and she gets mad at me because she doesn't want me to do the moves that I'm going to do, and I have to tell her, this is the move that you make.
Yes.
There is a correct thing to do in this situation.
And I am going
to do that. I know your mom won't. Your mom's going to teach you that you could just get whatever you want.
Just have fun.
Scott, you are in the 100% in the camp that I'm in. My daughter Isabel loves board games now because I was not polite during board games. I'm going to kick the shit out of you.
Yeah,
I'm sorry. I don't care if you're 6 or not.
I'm going to teach you how to play the game.
Yeah. But it actually made her really love trying to beat me. And then when she finally got old enough to where she could beat me from time to time, and then eventually was a competitor. That's what we're looking for. I wasn't looking for for the rest of my life. We're just going to hang out with you, not knowing how to play board games.
Yeah. I made sure my daughter got into board games really early, and it's interesting because one game I never learned how to play was chess.
Okay. Yeah.
And my daughter was the one who taught me how to play chess.
Nice.
Yeah. Chess is a great game.
She learned how to play it in school and came home and
Yeah,
I'm glad I got her into board games early because even back to when she was real young and it was Pretty Princess.
Oh yeah. That's a classic. That's a classic. Also remade in the 90s and again in the 2000s and again in the 2020s.
Yeah. When my 22-year-old comes home, we always play board games. Always play games. And she gets so fucking mad at me because I buried her entire childhood, and she thinks I'm taking it easy on my boys.
Oh, yeah, okay. No.
She's like, what's happening, Dad?
Yeah.
What the hell are you doing?
I don't care.
There's no way you would have let that go for me.
I don't care if we're trying not to wake a rattlesnake. I don't care if we're trying not to wake a daddy. I don't care if we're trying not to freaking
break
donut.
the ice.
Yeah, donut a donut. I'm going after you.
As is, of course, the tradition.
I've never been a fan of Monopoly. Are you a Monopoly guy?
Our group did get into it a little bit, but we used to go off the off the road.
Okay.
And
Oh, yeah,
pretty,
you got
pretty
house
soon
rules.
it's like 2 a.m. and we're all like a 6-pack into
Yep,
Joe Cola.
yep.
And we got like mafias set up and we're like, yeah, you go get the rent from him. And there's like all these separate factions. And yeah, we did that a little bit. I mean, and there's like 4 billion variations of Monopoly now too.
Yeah, the problem with standard Monopoly is it's too long.
It takes forever.
Yeah, for
It's like
just
a 4-hour game.
Yeah, for just a regular
Oh,
old
at
board
least.
game. Yeah.
It can like go on forever.
Our
For sure. For sure.
as adults, my mom banned Risk in her household.
Oh, a lot of risk boards were flipped in my house.
Yep,
yeah.
I called my brother white trash. And
I remember a few flippers
Yep,
where I remember one of my friends coming over the table at somebody and
yeah, this was Christmas when we were adults. So we were in our 20s, or late 20s probably. And my mom said, that's it. That's the last Risk. Scott was playing at one point with us and then just kind of faded and was no longer playing. Was sitting at the table but no longer playing while Rick and I just said, oh, really? Oh, fuck you. Fuck you then. And then I called him white trash, and that was the end of Risk.
Yeah, I don't have a lot of experience playing the game Risk.
My older brother in Monopoly, we played a lot of Monopoly growing up. Once he would get down, he was the asshole who'd be like, I'll give you all my money if you take all my properties. To the person who was like closest to beating me, just to try and bury me. Oh, I'm glad we sat here 2 hours for that.
Yeah. Okay, well, I think that pretty much wraps up that version. Some fun ones in there. There are so many classic board games. It was a lot of fun to go through, and we could definitely do this again because there's a ton of different ones that are out there. I was trying to keep it safe, though, with you. I knew that you would know a lot of things. The one I wanted to ask you is there a Back to the Future board game?
There was a Back to the Future card game.
See,
and then what's that company? Ravenswood.
Okay.
I think they did make an
eventually.
actual,
Yeah. I thought that would be a fun one, but because I know you're very into Back to the Future. You're
Just a little bit.
literally wearing a DeLorean hat right now. Have a DeLorean, wearing the hat. But yeah, that's a lot of fun. The other thing we wanted to give you an opportunity to do is talk about, you have an event coming up in a couple of weeks.
Yes.
And let's give you just a half a second or so here to close out the episode and talk about what you got going.
Yep, there's a concert coming up right kind of under the water tower in front of Play and Trade. And it's came out of the ashes of a event that kind of went south for a bit, but I'll tell you what, the music community around here is something else.
Sure.
And within 24 hours, there was a whole new thing all made up. All the equipment was
like a phoenix.
Just like,
Terrible name, though. Terrible name.
But
I'm going to give you a hard time, whoever went with Fellowship.
Fellowship, yep. Fellowship Fest is
one of my, was that you that picked Fellowship?
That was not.
Okay.
I'm not sure where that was.
It is my
we talked to some people and then woke up and the
Fellowship
whole thing
of the Sing
is made.
It's called Fellowship of the Phoenix.
My dad's very religious, and so fellowship to me has always been just a really funny word. Fellowship. It just reminds me of dudes getting together to do a men's night of Bible study.
I exclusively think of Lord of the Rings.
For a heavy metal rock night.
Hey, the Sonshine Music Festival had a heavy metal portion.
I went to a few of those in the mid-90s.
The Sonshine Festival?
Oh, yeah.
Let's talk about it.
Oh,
Dude.
boy.
Super nerdy.
Yeah, because we went there, we were all like, oh, the Newsboys.
Jesse, we're best friends all of a sudden. So I just said it. My dad was super religious. So he was always trying to get us to listen to Christian music. Always. Pray for Rain. PFR, as they had to change their name to.
Oh, yeah.
Some Stephen Curtis Chapman.
Michael W. Smith.
Michael W. Smith. That's the one I was looking for. I was going to call him Steve, but his name is not Steve.
That's Stephen Curtis Chapman.
Stephen Curtis Chapman. But he was
Talk.
Yes, DC Talk. Oh my God. This is sad, ladies and gentlemen. I'm sorry for doing this.
I still, to this day, one of my favorite bands is Five Iron Frenzy.
Okay. Yeah.
Little ska band,
Yeah.
Christian ska band.
There was a lot of Christian ska. I think that was when my dad finally got his hooks in us a little bit because we were big into ska. And then the Christian ska came in like as the other ska was no longer getting played anymore.
Yep.
And so the Sonshine Festival was a festival, I think it was in Detroit Lakes, wasn't it?
Wilmer.
It was Wilmer.
In Wilmer.
I thought, yeah, it was Wilmer.
Okay. So we would drive an RV to this thing every year with our dad. And then eventually it got to the point where I showed up. I think I was like 16 or 17. And I showed up and then was there for like an hour and was like, you know what, Dad? I'm going to go. And I felt bad because it was like this thing our dad did with us every summer.
Yeah, I think I went in 96 and 97, I believe.
I was there.
So
my God.
Yeah, so I went right for, of course, the Newsboys was the big headliner, but they had that little stage off.
Yes.
And there was this band there. And I came out of that fest like, well, Newsboys, whatever. This just obscure. And they were more like an alt rock, like just like sounded like everything from like Peter Murphy and David Bowie just all combined. They're called Spyglass Blue.
Okay.
And they're still, the guy is still doing music. And yeah, it was just so like, this is not, this cannot be Christian music.
Yeah.
It was like,
it's interesting. It's a small part of like my childhood where it's like, we listen to Christian music in the car all the time. Mm-hmm. And so I have an appreciation for...
Yeah, we either listened to Christian music or we had the regular radio station on until somebody said something risque.
Oh, God.
And then our dad would just turn the radio off entirely.
Silence.
So then I would just, as a 7-year-old kid, have to sit there and think, well, what did that person just say?
Yes.
And then just stew about it.
I heard the word.
You want me to think about this one real hard, Dad? Because I'm doing it. Girl, I want to make you sweat.
Yes, yes.
You can't sweat no more.
What is that?
Well, why would he turn that off? Maybe they were just playing basketball. I saw those guys live, by the way.
Did you?
Yeah, they opened for Slightly Stupid.
That does sound slightly stupid. My dad had a hard no Prince rule in the car. Prince would come on the radio and Prince was shut off immediately. That's the one I remember. It's crazy. But that's interesting that you were actually at Sonshine.
Probably at the same...
for sure at the same one. For sure. That is the exact time frame in which we were there.
Make 'em wonder what you got. Make 'em wish that they were not on the outside looking for.
One more nod towards the actual
Christian music scene.
Well, this one's the music festival coming up in 2 weeks is not a Christian music.
That's what I was trying to do.
No, I don't know how we got from this. Is not at all.
You said the word fellowship, and I can only relate fellowship not to the rings, but to the Lord Jesus. But no, I super shout out to the whole music scene in the area. Local bands
it's
playing.
It's going to be a good show.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you for that, Jesse. We're going to have you back. We want to do a segment where we have you bring in some stuff, and then we kind of do a theme of little things you have that are interesting. There was one that you had showed me that would be super hard to do on a pod.
It'll be like our Steve Irwin.
Yeah, like Steve Irwin. He is our Steve Irwin. We're going to try not to kill you.
Be careful with this one.
Not in the heart. But yeah, you had another, speaking of video board games.
We did talk about this, the Captain Power series.
Captain Powers.
That was a big
Captain Power.
It was interactive. You had different ships, and you played. You saw that video I sent you.
We got really far down that rabbit hole.
And you shoot at different things, and if you get hit so many times, your action figure actually gets ejected out of the thing. Yeah,
a VHS tape that is interactive and shooting your dudes.
It was a
interesting
big deal that just went nowhere.
Well, what happened was they tried making a Donut Disaster version of it, and the goo was just excessive and unfortunate.
I think what happened was the Super Nintendo.
It moved quickly from that kind of thing to...
But then they kind of brought it back with like what was it? The Disney little action figure things.
Yeah.
Oh, but
Disney Infinity or whatever. Skylanders.
Well, they were just dumb. The Skylanders did really well.
Skylanders still is... Honestly, still pretty popular.
Okay, folks, we're going to go from Christian rock to Skylanders. Thanks. I'm going to sign off real quick. Just thanks for joining us. Thanks for being a part of us. We appreciate you. The next however long is not for you. It's not for you at all. So thanks for joining us. But no, the problem with the Disney one, because my kids had it, was Skylanders, they kept having the same base unit and you could just keep adding the guys. Disney kept going, oh, it's not good enough. And then they'd make you buy the full set again with the new base.
Oh, that's 2.0, the
2.0, 3.0. And so I did it with my kids. We have a ton of ththese things. And it was a lot of fun. Yeah, it was a lot of fun. That was one of those things where I was like, because I like action figures, I like little figurines. I think they're cool. It's like a cool little thing that you can do with young kids.
It is neat to see your character pop up.
So you got that, and then you'd put it on the base, and then now they can play with it on the screen. But then we did the first version, and then they moved to the second version, and we bought the second version because it's like, oh, now it's Star Wars and Marvel. Yeah. And then it was like, oh no, now you got to buy a third version. It was like, you've ruined it for yourself.
That's where most people are like, yeah, I'm out.
I would have kept buying those things, $20 a pop. I would have bought them those little figures until they were completely done with it. But I'm not buying back into your thing a third time. That's ridiculous.
Yeah, right. Yeah, it's not a PS3 to PS4.
Yes. Yeah. Just so I can now play Marvel and then whatever you add to the next one. So, all right, Jesse, thank you for coming on.
Well, thanks for having me.
We'll have you back. Thank you to the Boutros.
Yes.
Thank you to Gabriel Johnson.
Thank you, Mayor Timu.
Son of a bitch. It's Beef Wellington. We will be back next week. We are on to 2003. So we will be doing the Be Kind Rewind 2003. Jesse, would you like to throw some items out at us for 2003?
It was a good year.
It was a good year.
That was the year I got married.
Okay. All right. Well, not really what we want to talk about, Jesse, but
I could come up with some items from 2003. Yep.
Do you want to join us?
Why not?
Do you want to do a Be Kind Rewind next week with us?
Yes.
Okay.
Why the heck not?
So 2003, we talked about that we're going to talk briefly about Nip Tuck because we decided to talk about Nip Tuck. And I watched it.
You know what?
I have the same response.
I watched that show. When it came out.
I think everybody did.
That was like right around the first time we actually got satellite.
Yep.
And that was one of the shows that just happened to come out.
Yep.
And boy, it just got...
Yep. Save it. Save it. That's why we want to talk about Nip Tuck.
We're all at the same part of the show. Like,
I got that. I was amazed at how fast I got there. Okay, so that's going to come up. So you guys, shoot us over your TV shows, video games, board games, potentially, news and pop culture, music, anything from 2003. We'll do that next week, and then the following week we'll get into the actual movies from 2003 as well. That's a separate piece of the Be Kind Rewind. But yeah, shoot that stuff over to us, and we'll get that going. And then, of course, it's going to be draft day as well after that. So we got 3 weeks before that, and we'll be back to a draft. If you got ideas for things that you'd like us to draft, shoot them over. Those episodes are quickly becoming some of our listeners' favorites. So, all right, ladies and gentlemen, and with that, we're done. On the fellowship. I actually was halfway through. I was like, this is going out to the internet, Dave.
Well, see you later.
Yeah, we really kind of pulled the rug out from under that whole promotion of the event. Hey, let's talk about this event you got. Nope.
Hey,
fellowship.
Hey, you remember when Christian rock was a thing? Douche. Oh.